Hello, my name is Jasmine. This is Goose, and this is Blue Healer Bookshelves. Let's try this again. My name is Jasmine, and this is Foxy, and this is Blue Healer Bookshelves. Thank you so much for joining us today. Have yourself something to drink. I have a raspberry matcha. And let's get into the BookTube Newbie Tag. I have the questions written down in here. I found them on Fandom, written by Brenda C. She had initially made a video that is now taken down, so I don't know how to give her credit for this. I cannot seem to find her. So anyways, let's jump into it. Why did you start this channel is the first question. I started this channel because I wanted to grow my bookish platform, I guess. I started watching BookTube and I thought I should make a Bookstagram. I don't have any other social media. Bookstagram feels like it would be a healthy form of social media, and so I started it. And now that I'm on Bookstagram for almost a year now, I've been kind of daydreaming about starting a BookTube. And so here I am, finally taking the leap. It's a little scary. I definitely am nervous about it, but it's gonna be okay. So somebody really wanted to get into things, so I just grabbed him so I could keep him distracted from getting into stuff while I was recording. So we're just gonna keep going along and see how long he lasts. So what are some fun and unique things you can bring to BookTube? I think something fun, obviously, is the chaos of my life with this dude and this little girl down here. Over on Instagram, everyone seems to love the animals and their features that they get, and I think it's really fun to incorporate them into my feed, which is where the name Blue Healer Bookshelves came from. Foxy was an only pet in this household, and then we welcomed the hedgehog, and then we welcomed the cat. So we are now a 3-animal household, and that changed very quickly. Back on track. Some fun things I can bring. Like I said, the animals, and then another fun thing I can bring is the fact that I read a lot of variety of books. I'm in different book clubs. I run a book club. I am expanding my reading variety. I had initially stuck to only thrillers, and now I'm starting to read some more historical fiction, some horror, memoirs. Sorry if you can hear the cat in the background. I'm starting to read fantasy as well. The only genre that I tend to steer clear of is romance, because out of the dozens of romance books I've read, I've really only enjoyed a few of them, and I end up DNFing romance more than any other genre. All right, change of scenery. We are back in the library. The cat needed a break. He started climbing the curtains, and I kind of put him on a timeout in his bedroom. So here we are, me and Foxy, back in the library, and gonna finish out the video here. So we left off on question 4, and that is, why do you love reading? Not only do I love reading for the places it takes me, like visually and mentally and emotionally, but I love reading because I get to have this as my reading space. I feel very fortunate to have a cozy bedroom in the house that I can put all my books in. My clothes are in here too. The hedgehog is in here. I walk into this room and I just feel at peace. I think of nothing going on in the outside world when I'm in here, and I just close the door and I put on a nice wax melt. I look at all the decorations I've put in here, and I just feel at home in this room. And so when I get to be in here and pick up a good book, nothing is better than that. Question 5 is, what book or series got you into reading? As a child, I started reading like Junie B. Jones, The Magic Tree House. I read Guardians of Ga'Hoole. I really liked The Boxcar Children and the Babysitter's Club, I think it's called. Those were all books I read as a kid. As a teenager, I kind of fell out of reading. that transitioned into like high school and college. And then as an adult, my dad got me The Storyteller by Dave Grohl for Christmas. And that's an autobiography on his life. And if you are a fan of Nirvana or the Foo Fighters or any rock music, you would love The Storyteller. Dave Grohl's journey as a child into an adult as a musician was so fun to read about, and it just broke your heart, and then you would laugh and you would cry and you would be laughing so hard that you were crying, and it's just such a good feel-good book. And now I read a little bit of everything. This shelf here expands into a taller bookshelf. Those are all my thriller and horror books. And then in front of me is like literary novels and a little bit of everything else. And I have series, and then this is my entire TBR cart. So all of these books are great for me and are keeping my interest peaked in reading. Question 6 is, what questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? So my favorite booktubers, I already do ask a lot of questions of, and that is Summer and Elena. So Summer is Seasons Readings. Elena is Elena in Wonderland. And then I also watch a lot of Books and Lala, who is Kayla, Liv's Library, who is Liv. I watch Ella, who is Shively Writes, and Haley Hughes. Oh, and Deja's Book World. I love all 7 of those booktubers. And I guess I would ask them, like, how do you keep up your momentum? How do you stay creative? How do you push out content and like be authentic about it? I think something I'm going to struggle with is finding something for me that fits like a niche that's who I am. Obviously, like, my handle is Blue Healer Bookshelves because I have this beautiful dog who is my reading buddy. She sits with me every time I read. She's curled up next to me, and she's obviously a huge part of who I am as a person. And I think that translating who I am as a person into BookTube might end up being challenging in the long run. Oh, what challenges do you think starting a BookTube will be the hardest to overcome? Okay, so I just kind of talked about that a little bit. I think another challenge will be staying consistent. I have a very busy life and a very busy schedule outside of who I am as a reader. And so I think a big challenge to overcome will be pushing out content. I don't necessarily even want to be pushing out so much content that I'm like consistent every week, twice a week, every other week. I want to do it when it feels right for me and when I can come up with things that I can feel good about sharing. So I don't want to be overwhelmed with BookTube, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Question 8 is, when did you start reading? And I touched on this a little bit earlier, but I started reading as a kid with my mom. She read to me a lot, and then I obviously took that break, and then I started reading a lot as an adult. I got The Storyteller for Christmas in 2020. I didn't start reading it until I was on vacation in March of 2021. And ever since March of 2021, I have not been able to put a book down. March of 2023 is when I started my Bookstagram. So when I started my Bookstagram, as I mentioned earlier, it is my only form of social media right now, which I'm very happy about. And I have found an amazing group of friends through Bookstagram. So when I started reading in 2021 as an adult, the book journey I've taken has been phenomenal, and I am so thankful for every step of the way it has taken me. Question 9 is, where do you read? And that is in this chair right here. This is, like I said, is my safe space. This is my room I can come into where everything is just zen and perfect and it's my own little world. So this is my main reading spot. I will occasionally read on the couch or in bed, but this is the preferred area. Question 10 is, what kind of books do you like to read? Right now, my top 3 genres are thriller, horror, and light fantasy. I'm just kind of dipping my toes into the water of fantasy, but I would say like my comfort genre is thriller and horror. I have a collection of historical fiction and literary fiction that I read every now and then when I just need a break from like the spookier thriller type books. I find that when I read too many thrillers, I get a little bit bogged down in my head, and I need something a little lighter to pick me up. And then question 11 is, what does your book collection look like? I have a very chaotic book collection, and I will just show you the TBR cart for now because everything else is crazy. So this is the TBR cart, everything on here, and then I have a stack in that corner. I'm not going to show the rest now because the library is a bit of a mess, and I have shown it in a previous video. So if you would like to see the library transformation and then what the bookshelves look like now, you can go and watch the first video I posted, and then I think my next video will be a TBR cart tour, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, thank you for joining us today.